just like center to right center? Yeah. Yep.
What do you see that right?
We do a little trolling. It's called We Do a Little Trolling.
What's up, guys? It's Benny. Pope Francis passed away last night at the age of 88 after a long battle with pneumonia. He was in and out of the hospital. He was wheelchair bound. He could barely speak. So this just seems to be God's timing. Now, I know there are very strong opinions about Pope Francis, and there are a lot of people that don't like what this Pope did, but we choose to let the dead rest in peace on this program, and so we're going to try very, very hard not to veer into the Pope's preaching on criminal alien immigration and climate change and some of the stuff that we think was really extreme. He was just a very liberal Pope, okay, is what it was. Anyway, the point is that Pope Francis has passed on, and now we start the process of choosing a new Pope, and this is very important because the Pope is, I think you could rightly say, the longest serving seat of political influence in the world, right? There have been kings and presidents and leaders and sultans that have had major effects and dictators on the world, you know, and but the Pope has been long-standing for 2,000 years, right? Technically, like the papacy has been around for a very long time. And so the choice of who is Pope directs the vision for 2 billion Catholics all around the world, and that's a lot of power, all right? So I just got to say, regardless of what you think of the Pope, this is an all-time Pope moment right here when the Pope gets yanked by some overly zealous lady and smacks her in the hand. You got to respect the old school here and be polite, right? The Pope was polite when he met JD Vance. This was the last meeting of the Pope. This is the last time the Pope was on camera. These are the last photos of the Pope. He gave JD Vance a bunch of presents, and he seemed to smile. He didn't say much in the videos that we have, and of course he looks very much, you know, up there, right? He looks quite tired here. JD Vance, though, looks thrilled. JD Vance is a Catholic convert and was the last person to meet the Pope. Pope Francis' final meeting, awkward moment with JD Vance after condemning Trump administration's treatment of migrants, Pontiff's last encounter. I'm not sure it was really awkward. I'm not sure that the meeting itself was awkward. JD Vance was at the Vatican with his family and was chilling out, went to services there and so on, and was the last head of state, politician, or anybody, again, to meet Pope Francis. The meeting went like this.
For you every day. God bless you. So good to see you. Good morning. How are you?
Find yourself.
Good. Yeah, thank you. I've not been feeling great, but it's good to see you in better health.
Grazie, Santo Padre.
Thank you.
These are for your children.
Okay, thank you.
These are the gifts. These are also gifts for you.
Thank you.
It's
It's beautiful.
the Vatican tie, and then the rosaries for your wife, the white for your children, and the red one is for. Thank you very much for your visit.
Of course. And thank you for seeing me.
So, the Pope gets a photo with JD Vance, lavishes him with gifts, and JD Vance shakes his hand, and it seems totally cordial, right? We've seen these kind of things. The Pope greets presidents and members of the administration all the time, and world leaders all the time. Again, the Pope is the longest serving contiguous world leader on Earth, right? Like, it's, you know, there's not, again, so, you know, this just comes with the territory. What also comes with territory, though, people who have decided that JD Vance killed the Pope. Pope Francis died, and people are already accusing JD Vance of killing the Pope. Pope Francis met JD Vance on Easter Sunday and showered him with gifts. It wasn't malign at all. JD Vance killed the Pope, though, is trending because JD Vance killed the Pope. Well, there we go. So what's going on here? There are a bunch of like people who are obsessed with COVID or whatever and do not understand God's timing with things, and does not understand that the Pope was obviously already, he'd been sick for a long time. He's been in and out of the hospital for months, long hospitalization stays, wheelchair bound. Just is what it is, and this is just the natural course of life. 88 is a good long life, and certainly a memorable one at that, no matter what you think the Pope. Keep humiliating his wife and his family. My timeline is a lot of this. So you're telling me Pope Francis took his last energy to give mass, rose JD Vance and pray for Gaza, and then died the day that Jesus was resurrected. JD Vance killed the Pope. And you don't believe this administration isn't the Antichrist. Okay, a lot of people see it the other way around, quite frankly, but who am I? Again, as I have said, I'm not a practicing Catholic. I was not raised in the Catholic tradition. I deeply respect it. I do deeply respect ancient Christendom. I think it's awesome, and obviously Catholics, that's part of our part of all Christian tradition, right? Is that the church was built upon St. Peter. So I'm digging. People are calling him the Antichrist now because JD Vance was the last person to meet the Pope. JD Vance, the last person to meet the Pope before his death. The last time the Pope was on camera. And so everybody, the internet's doing what the internet's doing. Ann Coulter says, good work, JD. Okay. Again, we do our very best to not try and make these kind of things political. World leaders, they come and go. We're all mortal men, aren't we? Right? And so this just is what it is. Some of these leaders that pass on, like this is a good example, Jimmy Carter. I really don't like Jimmy Carter, and I think that he wrecked the country, and I think he was one of the lowest points of all the presidents. We do our best to keep it courteous around here, right? JD Vance popping on early, at 4 a.m. to say that his heart goes out to the millions of Christians all over the world passing on Pope Francis. Happened to see him yesterday, and then he linked to one of his homilies that he liked right here from the Vatican. May God rest his soul. So this is that's the Vatican. People are saying that this is like a string of bad luck for JD Vance because the national championship trophy fell apart in his hands. That seems like a thing that just how is that JD Vance's fault? Can somebody explain this to me? Much like with the Pope, who was already very sickly and very, very much at near the end of his life, right? And this is a massive trophy, and it just fell apart. That seems like a staffing error, right? It seems like somebody should have maybe checked the trophy to see if it was going to fall apart. You think JD Vance is like the Hulk, and he just ripped this metal trophy in two? But people are saying that it's bad luck. And who should JD Vance visit next? Right? Everyone's like, oh, JD, naming people that they don't like that JD Vance should visit next. Yesterday, JD Vance met Pope Francis. Hours before his passing, Keith Olbermann could turn this condolence into a character assassination. Leftism clearly is a mental illness. Man, I would not want to be JV Vance right now. So, all the usual suspects. Pope Francis appeared vibrant and youthful. No, he did not. He's been wheelchair bound. He can't speak, and he's been in the hospital. What are you talking about? But after meeting JD Vance, he's suddenly gone. I'm not one for conspiracies, but this feels off. The left is so insane, they're literally saying that JD Vance murdered the Pope, and they say we are the conspiracy theorists. Those who will serve brain rot will be easy to spot today. They're the ones trying to link the passing of Pope Francis to JD Vance or Trump. You're going to find it very hard to convince me that JD Vance did not kill the Pope. Please, I'm kidding. I don't seriously think in any way you can convince me that JD Vance did not kill the Pope. Okay? How long until the media blames Pope Francis' death at JD Vance? Well, they're already doing it. JD Vance meet the Pope and he dies within 24 hours. Some of the more insane people are saying that this is because JD Vance is traveling with a bunch of people and bringing germs or whatever. You're seeing kind of the COVID flares pop up, right? They're you should never touch another human being. You should never speak to another human being. You're not allowed to talk without masks. You're not allowed to be indoors without masks. That's what people are saying, effectively. I obviously think it's garbage. Again, I got to tread lightly here because there's a lot of people, including myself, that disagree with the Pope politically. But I think the Pope was you can see here in the Pope, the dude is 88. Good on him for taking this meeting. That's what I say. Like, he didn't have to go do Easter Mass, and he did that. He made an appearance, like, Easter Mass. Like, he was near the end of his life. 88, pneumonia in both lungs, hospitalized with pneumonia in both lungs, can't talk, can't walk. Has to have aides, like, bring him water in a cup, you know, with a straw. So he's not doing well, clearly. And this is just what happens. Have you ever had a family member at the end of their life? This is like what happens. But the dude went out there and, you know, and played the part and did his thing. And so I say that's just I say it's a sign of respect. You know, I say it's just like, that's just like a good, like, that's just the way to go, you know, the way to go. Right? He had duties to perform, and part of those duties as a world leader, which the Pope is, regardless of what you think about the Pope, world leader is to meet other world leaders who are there in the Vatican, and that's exactly what the Pope did. So I think that is honorable. All right? I'll leave it to the comment sections to debate the Pope's legacy, right? And there's plenty of debate there. But that's my take on all of this. Libs are, of course, gonna live. It's your boy Benny. Like, share, and subscribe for more truth. See ya.